Hello everyone. Today's episode is about fairies, fairy rings, and fairy hills. The term fairies is known all over the world through literature and lore. The idea of the fae is both fascinating and frightening. To many people, they are not creatures of myth, but actual beings that are to be feared and respected. There are as many different types of fae as there are species on this planet. Some can be kind and helpful, some can cause mischief, and some can be extremely dangerous. It is said that the fairy world is composed of the Tuatha De Danann, who are the original fairy people, and the people of the goddess Danu, which were early Irish people skilled in magic and able to escape mortal death. These two definitions intrigue me, as it is also said that there are physical beings of fairies and those that are made of mist like a spirit. They live in the fairy world, which is a realm right alongside ours that can be accessed at certain times of the year and in certain locations. Those times would be when the veil is thinnest, on October 31st and May 1st. You can find these access points in forests and nature. When you see a tree split into two trunks, creating a V-shaped doorway, it is supposed to lead to the fairy realm. Or when you become lost and deterred inexplicably in the forest, it might be the fae warding you away from a nearby entrance. There are also fairy circles and fairy hills. Fairy circles are perfect circles of mushrooms or green rings that vary in sizes. They are caused by the fairies and elves dancing. You must never disturb a fairy circle, lest they steal you away to fairyland, or cause you bad luck and ill will. I saw such a circle in my parents' yard once while cutting the grass. You can be sure that I went around the circle, just in case. I heard a story once about a young man who knew of such a circle in the hills near the village that he lived in. Out of curiosity, he ventured up to the hills at night to catch a glimpse of the fairies. He hid behind a bush watching them dance, entranced by their music and beauty. He knew not to make himself known to them or to interfere, but the music drew him closer and closer. A beautiful fae woman saw him and invited him to join in the dance. Unable to help himself, he did. He danced all night until exhaustion took him over and he slept. Awakening to the sun on his face, he jumped up, eager to get home and tell his wife what had happened. Little things seemed changed and out of place as he ran home. His door was locked, so he banged on it, calling to his wife to let him in. A woman he didn't recognize opened the door and began to scream. It was, in fact, his wife, only she had aged. He had not aged at all. One night for him with the fairies was several years for his family. Thinking he was some ghost or changeling, the woman and her sons, who were now grown, chased him away in fear. This story explains how time moves differently in fairy world, and to be prepared to suffer the consequences when indulging in your curiosity. Fairy hills are mounds which fairies live in. One such hill is Doon Fairy Hill in Aberfoyle, Scotland. This is a truly beautiful forested hill that I had the opportunity to hike a few years back. This hill is famous due to the Reverend Robert Kirk. Reverend Robert Kirk was a highly educated man and reverend who strongly believed in the fae. He claimed to have the second sight and was able to see them regularly, which he did often on Doon Hill. The hill was inhabited by the Aos Si, people of the fairy hills, or, as Reverend Kirk called them, subterraneans. He said they were closely tied to nature, but of an astral substance like that of a condensed cloud. He called them the good people. He visited them often, documenting what he learned. He composed a book called The Secret Commonwealth of Elves, Fauns, and Fairies. His book was published by Sir Walter Scott in 1815, but it was written and printed in 1691. Robert Kirk was unable to see this publication, as on one of his regular walks on Doon Hill, he collapsed, as if he had fainted. His strange, unconscious state seemed to mimic death. This happened in 1692 at the age of 51. Thinking he had died, they had a funeral for him. Sir Walter Scott writes that the form of Reverend Robert Kirk appeared to a relation and commanded him to go to Graham of Ducray. Say to Ducray, who is my cousin as well as your own, that I am not dead, but a captive in fairyland, and only one chance remains for my liberation. When the posthumous child, of which my wife has been delivered since my disappearance, shall be brought to baptism, I will appear in the room. When, if Ducray shall throw over my head the knife or dirk which he holds in his hand, I may be restored to society. But if this is neglected, I am lost forever. True to his tryst, Mr. Kirk did appear at the christening and was visibly seen, but Ducray was so astonished that he did not throw his dirk over the head of the appearance, and to society Mr. Kirk has not yet been restored. It is said that his spirit is trapped at the top of Doon Hill in a large pine tree, and that he acts as the mediator between worlds. Others say that he angered the fairies by giving their secrets away, and this is his punishment. The large pine tree still stands at the top of Doon Hill, covered in ribbons and wishes left by visitors. Whether you believe in fairies or not, there are a few rules that you should know. Don't disturb a fairy ring. If you notice odd occurrences in your home, like things going missing, it doesn't hurt to leave an offering or a gift of milk, honey, or something shiny. When appeased, they can bring you good luck. Iron wards off fairies. If you find yourself lost in a fairy ring or being harassed, take off your coat and put it on inside out. Put your left shoe on your right foot and spin around 3 times. This will set you free, as fairies will think you've gone mad, and they fear madness and believe it to be contagious. There are people reporting encounters with fairies, or unknown creatures to this day. If any of you have any experiences or stories you'd like to share and have me read on my podcast, please feel free to email talesoffaeandfolklore@gmail.com or leave a message on my blog, Tales of Fae and Folklore. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and remember to support your local library. To end off today's episode, I'd like to read a quote from Shakespeare. If you see a fairy ring in a field of grass, very lightly step around, tiptoe as you pass. Last night fairies frolicked there and are sleeping somewhere near. If you see a tiny fae lying fast asleep, shut your eyes and run away, do not stay or peep. And be sure you never tell, or you'll break a fairy spell. This has been Selena with Tales of Fae and Folklore.